First contact, first stand. The pale blue light of Jupiter reflected off Europa's icy surface, casting long shadows across the research station. Dr. Samira Khalid adjusted her headset, her eyes fixed on the oscillating waveform on her monitor. For 3 days, the signal had persisted, regular, structured, impossible to explain as a natural phenomenon. "Still there?" asked Director Chen, leaning over her shoulder. "Stronger than ever," Samira replied, her voice barely above a whisper, "and it's definitely not one of ours." The implications hung in the air between them. After centuries of scanning the stars, humanity had finally received an answer. But the message wasn't coming from some distant star system. It was emanating from just beyond Neptune's orbit, at the edge of their solar system. Within hours, the United Earth Security Council convened an emergency session. The signal had been verified by 17 separate observatories. There was no denying it any longer. Humanity was not alone. Captain Ilara Martinez stood in the command center of the UES Defiant, Earth's newest and most advanced warship. At 35, she was young for her rank, but her tactical brilliance during the Mars insurrection had accelerated her career. Now, as she studied the holographic projection of the approaching vessels, she wondered if any of that experience would matter. "How long until intercept?" she asked, her dark eyes never leaving the display. Lieutenant Commander Riza Kamal consulted his terminal. 2 hours, 17 minutes, Captain. Their deceleration pattern suggests they intend to establish orbit around Europa. Martinez nodded. "All stations, condition yellow. I want weapons hot but not targeted." First impression matters. As the alien vessels approached, their design became clearer, organic, almost crystalline structures that seemed to ripple as they moved through space. 7 ships in total, the largest approximately twice the size of the Defiant. "Captain," Communications Officer Wei called out, "we're receiving a transmission. It's on our own frequencies." Martinez straightened her uniform. "Put it through." The holographic display shifted, and a figure appeared. Humanoid but clearly alien, tall and slender with iridescent skin that shifted between violet and azure. 4 eyes, arranged vertically, blinked independently. When it spoke, its voice was melodic, almost musical. "People of Earth, I am Ambassador Xor Thal of the Xorian Conclave. We come seeking sanctuary. We are refugees, fleeing from annihilation." The Xorian story unfolded over the next several hours. Their civilization, spanning 12 star systems, had been systematically destroyed by an entity they called the Void Dominion, a collective of species united by a philosophy of predation. The Dominion believed in a natural hierarchy where the strong consumed the weak. Any species deemed unfit was harvested for resources. "But why come here?" Martins asked. "Surely there were other systems, other species who could help you." Thorfol's skin darkened to a deep purple. "We intercepted your transmissions decades ago. Your music, your art, your debates. You are unique among the stars, Captain. Most species evolve toward unity through uniformity. You achieve unity while preserving your diversity." The alien's 4 eyes focused intently on Martinez. "But more importantly, the Dominion is coming here next. We hoped to warn you." A chill ran through the command center. Earth had barely unified its own governments, had just begun establishing colonies on Mars and Europa. They were infants on the galactic stage. "How long do we have?" Martins asked. "Months, perhaps a year," Xorfol replied. "The Dominion sends scouts first, to assess and infiltrate. Then comes the harvest fleet." Within days, the UES Defiant escorted the Xorian vessels to Earth. Global panic was avoided only through careful management of information. The public was told that peaceful contact had been established. But the threat of the Dominion remained classified at the highest levels. Earth's greatest minds worked alongside Xorian engineers, integrating their crystalline technology with human ingenuity. The Ixorians possessed advanced energy manipulation technologies, but lacked human creativity in weaponry and tactics. It was a partnership born of desperation. 3 months later, the warning became reality. 6 sleek, predatory vessels appeared at the edge of the solar system. Unlike the crystalline beauty of Ixorian ships, these were angular, black, and seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Dominion scouts. Thorfol confirmed grimly. They will evaluate your defenses, your technology, your biology. Then they will determine if you are worth harvesting or merely exterminating. Captain Martinez stood on the bridge of the Defiant, now upgraded with Ixorian technology. 2 other Earth vessels, the Intrepid and the Dauntless, flanked her position near Jupiter's orbit. "They're scanning us," reported Lieutenant Commander Kamal. "Penetrating scans. They're looking at everything from our hull composition to our DNA." Martinez's jaw tightened. "Let them look. Way, open a channel." When the connection was established, Martinez stared into the face of the Dominion commander, a reptilian entity with a skull-like face and eyes like burning coals. "This is Captain Ilara Martins of the United Earth ship Defiant. You are in violation of sovereign space. State your intentions or be fired upon." The alien's mouth stretched in what might have been a smile. "Primitive species designation 3172. You harbor fugitives from Dominion justice. Surrender the Ixorian vermin and submit to evaluation, or face immediate cleansing." Martinez cut the transmission. "Target their lead vessel, full spread of kinetic impactors followed by the new phase cannons." The battle was short but brutal. The Dominion scouts, expecting minimal resistance from an undeveloped world, were caught by surprise by the hybrid human-Ixorian technology. 2 scout vessels were destroyed outright, while a third was crippled. But the Defiant paid a heavy price. A third of her crew lost, systems failing, hull breaches on multiple decks. As the remaining Dominion vessels retreated to hyperspace, Martinez knew the real war hadn't even begun. This was merely the prologue. In the aftermath, standing in a medical bay filled with wounded crew members, Martinez found Ambassador Thorfol waiting for her. "The Dominion will return with a harvest fleet," the Ixorian said simply. Martinez nodded, her expression grim but determined. "Then we'll be ready for them. Earth has faced extinction before. Ice ages, asteroids, our own folly with nuclear weapons and climate change. We're still here." She looked out the viewport at the distant blue marble of Earth. "We'll still be here after they come too." Thorfol's skin rippled with patterns of light that the translation software identified as hope, the first such expression since their arrival. "Perhaps," the ambassador said, "that is why the universe guided us to you. Not for you to save us, but for us to help you save yourselves." As word of the engagement spread through Earth's governments, the planet transformed. Ancient rivalries were set aside. Resources poured into the space program. Every orbital platform was weaponized, every ship retrofitted. Humanity, faced with extinction, did what it had always done when backed into a corner. It prepared to fight. The edge of extinction. 8 months after the scout encounter, Earth barely resembled the planet it had been. Orbital defense platforms ringed the planet like a metal halo. The lunar colonies had been converted to military bases. Mars housed the largest shipyards in human history, producing vessels that combined the best of human and Ixorian technology. In research facilities worldwide, scientists worked to understand and improve upon the crystalline technology the Ixorians had shared. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source, Dr. Samira Khalid, the very woman who had first detected the Ixorian signal. "Their crystals respond to thought," she explained to the assembled military leadership. "Not just Ixorian thoughts, human ones too. With the right interface, we can control their technology more intuitively than they can." This discovery led to the development of neural interface systems that allowed human pilots to control vessels with thought alone, reducing reaction times to milliseconds. Fighter squadrons equipped with these systems could perform maneuvers that would kill an unaugmented human. Captain Martinez, now Admiral Martinez, stood on the bridge of the UES Defiant II, a vessel 3 times the size of her previous command. The ship's core contained a massive thorium crystal that powered systems far beyond what humanity could have developed alone in a century. "Status report," she ordered, surveying the holographic display showing Earth's defenses. "Fleet is in position, Admiral," reported Commander Kummel, now her executive officer. "All 27 capital ships and their fighter wings are deployed. Ground-based kinetic launchers are armed and tracking. Civilian populations have been moved to hardened shelters." Martinez nodded. According to Xorian intelligence, the Dominion Harvest Fleet would arrive within hours. 300 vessels against Earth's paltry 27. The odds were apocalyptic. "All hands," she broadcast to the fleet. "This is Admiral Martinez. In a few hours, we face the greatest threat humanity has ever known. The enemy believes we are weak, that our world is ripe for harvesting. They think humans are primitive, easily broken." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Let's educate them." The Dominion fleet arrived as predicted. A swarm of black, angular vessels that seemed to tear holes in space itself. The largest was a monstrosity the size of Manhattan, designated the Harbinger by Earth's forces. "They're deploying in standard formation," reported the tactical officer, a Xorian named Velfar who had joined Earth's forces, exactly as they did at Xoria Prime and a dozen other worlds. Martinez smiled grimly. "That's their mistake. Launch Operation Trojan." For 2 months, Earth had been broadcasting false defense plans on frequencies the Dominion could intercept. Now, as the alien fleet positioned itself to counter those plans, they found only empty space where Earth's forces should have been. The real attack came from behind Jupiter's moon Callisto, where the fleet had been hiding in the magnetic shadow. Human vessels, augmented with Xorian stealth technology, streaked toward the unprepared Dominion rearguard. Phase 1 complete, Kummel reported as dozens of Dominion vessels erupted in silent explosions. They're reorganizing faster than anticipated. Martinez had expected this. The Dominion hadn't conquered half the galaxy by being inflexible. Initiate Phase 2. All ground-based launchers. Fire. From Earth and Mars, thousands of kinetic projectiles launched simultaneously, not targeting the Dominion fleet directly, but creating a debris field that restricted their movement, channeling them toward Neptune's orbit, where gravitational mines waited. The battle raged for hours. Human ingenuity and Xorian technology against Dominion numbers and ferocity. For every Dominion ship destroyed, Earth lost irreplaceable vessels and crews. The neural-linked fighters performed miracles, but pilots burned out after hours of intense mental connection, their minds unable to sustain the strain. By the 18th hour, Earth's defenses were failing. Half the fleet was destroyed or disabled. The Defiant II had taken critical damage, its crystal core unstable. "We need to withdraw, Admiral," Kummel urged as another explosion rocked the bridge. "Regroup with the Mars contingent." Martinez stared at the tactical display. The Harbinger remained untouched, directing the Dominion forces with cold precision. As long as it remained operational, the battle was lost. "No," she said finally. "Prep a shuttle. I'm going to the Harbinger." Her plan was insane, born of desperation. Using intelligence from captured Dominion scouts, a small team would infiltrate the Harbinger with a modified Xorian crystal. If they could connect it to the vessel's central systems, Dr. Khalid believed they could trigger a cascading failure. "This is suicide, Ilara," Kummel said privately, as she prepared to board the shuttle. Martinez checked her sidearm. "Probably. But if we lose Earth, there's nowhere left to run." The infiltration team consisted of Martinez, a squad of special forces, and Ambassador Kautor, whose knowledge of Dominion technology was essential. Using a captured scout vessel and identification codes, they approached the Harbinger during a lull in the fighting. The Dominion vessel was a nightmare of organic technology and mechanical precision. The corridors pulsed with an unhealthy light, and the air carried the metallic scent of blood. Twice they encountered Dominion warriors, hulking, reptilian creatures augmented with cybernetic weapons, and only barely survived the encounters. Finally, they reached the central processing chamber, a cathedral-like space dominated by a pulsating black crystal that seemed to drink in light. "Their command core," Thorfel whispered. "It connects to the mind of every warrior, every ship in their fleet." Martinez nodded to the Special Forces soldier carrying their modified crystal. "Do it." As they worked to connect the human-modified Saurian crystal to the Dominion systems, alarms blared. The doors to the chamber sealed shut, and a voice echoed through the space. Deep, resonant, ancient. "I have existed for 10,000 of your years. Primitive. I have consumed civilizations that reached further than your kind will ever know." A figure materialized, not physical, but a holographic representation of the Dominion Overlord. Unlike its warriors, the Overlord appeared almost elegant, with 6 limbs and a face that might have once been capable of expression before extensive cybernetic modification. "Your resistance is unprecedented," it continued. "No species at your development stage has inflicted such losses. Before I harvest your world, I would understand." Martinez stood her ground. "We're human. We don't know how to give up." The Overlord's mechanical eyes focused on her, a biological imperative. "No, something more. Fascinating. Your brains produce neurochemical responses to threat that enhance rather than inhibit function. You enjoy conflict." Behind her back, Martinez signaled to continue the crystal installation. "Not conflict," she corrected. "Challenge. We thrive on it. Earth isn't just another world to harvest. It's the place where your kind finally meets something you can't consume." The Overlord's expression shifted to what might have been amusement. Bold words from a species about to be extinct. "Your fleet is decimated. Your defenses crumble. What hope remains?" Martinez smiled. "This." The modified crystal activated, connecting to the Dominion Command Core. Dr. Khalid's theory proved correct. The Dominion's hive mind control system had no defenses against a crystal programmed with human thought patterns. The unpredictability, the intuitive leaps, the emotional responses, it was chaos to their ordered system. The Overlord's hologram distorted. What have you done?" Throughout the Dominion fleet, confusion spread. Ship systems failed. Warriors turned on each other, driven by conflicting commands. The Harbinger itself began to shudder as its internal systems fought against each other. "We introduced humanity to your network," Martinez explained as her team fell back toward their escape vessel. "You wanted to understand us. Now you're experiencing human thought firsthand. Our dreams, our fears, our stubborn refusal to be categorized or controlled." The Harbinger's systems continued to deteriorate as the infiltration team fought their way back to their shuttle. Not all of them made it. 3 Special Forces soldiers fell to Dominion warriors, and Thorfel was severely wounded. As their shuttle limped away from the dying Leviathan, Martinez watched the Dominion fleet dissolve into chaos. Ship fired upon ship. Some vessels attempted to flee, only to be destroyed by their own allies. The Harbinger itself, the pride of the Dominion, began to list before erupting in a series of catastrophic explosions. The remnants of Earth's fleet rallied, picking off the disorganized Dominion vessels. After 36 hours of continuous battle, it was over. Of the 300 Dominion ships, only 27 escaped. Of Earth's original 27 capital ships, only 8 remained functional. 3 months later, Admiral Martinez stood in the United Earth Council chamber. The scars on her face from the Harbinger mission had barely healed, but she stood tall as the Council awarded her their highest honor. "The victory was not mine," she told the assembled leaders and billions watching around the world. "It belonged to every scientist who worked without sleep, every engineer who rebuilt our ships, every pilot who flew against impossible odds. Most of all, it belonged to those who didn't return." The Xorian ambassador, not Thorfel, who was still recovering, but his successor, approached the podium. The Dominion has ruled through fear for millennia, the ambassador said. That reign is ending. Word of their defeat has spread through subspace communications. Rebellions have broken out in a dozen systems. Other species, long neutral, now pledge their support. Martinez stepped forward, which means our work is just beginning. Earth is no longer alone in the universe, and we can no longer pretend our responsibilities end at the edge of our solar system. The Dominion will return, and when they do, they'll find not just humanity waiting for them, but a coalition of species who believe in something greater than mere survival of the strongest. As she spoke, shipyards around Mars glowed with activity. New vessels, built with technology that married the best of a dozen different species, took shape. Earth, once an isolated blue marble in the vastness of space, had become something unprecedented, a rallying point, a symbol of resistance. Humanity had answered when the galaxy called for heroes, and the stars would never be the same again.